Today, we are going to dig into building branded Google PPC ads for your personal brand, meaning you as a real estate agent, you as a loan originator, people Googling your name plus whatever it is you do. And we will also dig into Google display ads for retargeting. It's a follow-up to the last session we had, which at this point was 2 weeks ago. I forget why. Oh, I was traveling. I was at the Agent to CEO conference last week, which is why there was no live mastermind. But 2 weeks ago, we talked about Facebook or Meta, retargeting on Meta, specifically running ads on Meta, Instagram and Facebook to audiences that you already have built, whether they be people that have visited different websites or pages, people who have opted in, meaning people in your database, things of that nature. And so this is partly a follow-up to that, as recommended by, I think it was Stephen, in I believe he's in DFW area. Okay, now to the actual topic at hand. Branded Google PPC ads. And I'm going to, what did I do here? Hold on, add pin. There we go. I want to once again define what I mean by that. And also I'll give credit where credit is due. I got this idea from Alex Hormozi. He is one of my favorite people. This is the third book in his series, $100 million money models. There's also $100 million leads, which is sitting on my desk over here too, but it's under a bunch of stack. And there's $100 million offers. Okay. And they're general business books. All of that. I'm just painting a picture if you don't know who Alex Hormozi is. He sends out an email, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week called the Mosey Minute. And probably a couple of months ago at this time, he sent one out about this idea of setting up Google PPC ads for your brand. And the idea was general business related, meaning if you have a brand that's, I don't know, Josh, I'm struggling to be creative right now. But if I had a brand, here, I'll give it a former brand that I had created is something called Client Alchemist. Okay. So idea would be you set up ads specifically so that when someone goes and types into Google, Client Alchemist reviews, Client Alchemist training, or Client Alchemist coaching, or whatever, that you control. Thank you, Richard. Josh's lawn mowing service. There you go. That was something there. So that you can control the narrative, meaning you control the first thing because you only have so much control over what they would see organically. And if you have a big enough brand, when someone Googles you, there might be somebody bidding on you and show up above you. You don't want that happening, right? So the idea was simple. I set it up for myself. I don't know, a while ago at this time. I'll bring up my stats. I helped James set one up a week or 2 ago at this point. We'll look at his as well. But it's something that you set up one time. You need to check in every so often to make sure it's working and running. But it's a way that you can control the narrative of what someone sees when they go and Google you. When they go and Google Andrew Robinson, realtor, or Andrew Robinson, real estate agent, or Andrew Robinson, Columbus, Ohio agent, or whatever, we can control what the person sees, at least to some degree. And I can tell you with certainty, here's what I can tell you. I can't tell you an exact ROI, but I can tell you with certainty, I have gotten more inbound opportunities from this than if I hadn't done it. I've had several people reference the fact that when I asked, how did you find me or how'd you get my number? And they say they Google me, and some of them might be finding my Google business listing, but I'm certain that having that there is helping more than it's not. And also, James, yours is set up for $1 a day or $2 a day, something like that.
We did $1 to start.
Okay. And mine's $2 a day. So like we're talking about peanuts here. The minimum you can do it for is $1. Just do it for $1. And you only pay if somebody actually Googles and clicks on it anyway. So let me share what mine looks like. We'll share what James's looks like currently. And then we should be able to build one from scratch as well. Just understand it could be painful to do this. The Google Ads dashboard or interface is not the easiest or the most user-friendly, but you can find help in many different places to do this. And once you get it done and done correctly, you pretty much can just let it run. And again, the wonderful thing about what we do is we're paid very handsomely when we actually help a client, right? So if I'm spending $2 a day, I spend $700 a year. If I get one extra client that I didn't get, the ROI is through the roof. Okay, enough already. Let's get to, where is it? Where is my ad? Let me get to my screen here, and I need to pull up the right ad account. That is the right one. So I'm going to find the campaign. See, I can't even, this dashboard can be so confusing that it's hard to even find the campaigns. Where is it? Campaigns. There we go. Sorry. Campaign. Josh Shanley search ad, $2 per day. Optimization score 49%. I don't care. That's just a made up thing by Google. Who cares? I have spent $256. I've gotten 6 conversions. I'm not even sure what I'm tracking as a conversion, if I'm being honest. I have some sort of conversion tracking setup in Google, but I don't even know what that means. And I don't care because everyone who clicks, what I do know is where they go when they click. And every click goes to, and if this is something you're going to set up for your business, and I'm suggesting that you should, the first thing you have to figure out is this: where does someone go when they Google me and they click on the ad? For me, they go to this, which is essentially a link tree type of page. Now, this is a page that was built on the Pro Edge CRM, which is a white label version of Go High Level, but you could build something similar on anything. You could build a page like this on Bold Trail. You could build a page like this from a free Google website. Did you know that if you go to sites.google.com, you can build a free website? There's lots of ways that you could do this. You might even send them to your Facebook business page or your Instagram page. I don't know. That might be better than this. I don't know. But you have to decide, where am I going to send this person when they click on my ad? This is where I'm sending. They can save my contact info. They can check me out on socials, and they can go check out this other stuff. And if they scroll down, I have my Google reviews installed here as well. Something is better than nothing. Do not let this trip you up, because you could choose, I'm going to send them to my Instagram profile, whatever. You build it, and then eventually you say, I want to build something along these lines. You can change it after the fact. You can change the link. You can go into the ad and just change where you're sending people to. Okay. But you have to decide something first to get started, right? And you want it to be, the thing I would say is it's got to be clear and congruent that it's you. Meaning, if someone goes and Googles Thomas Scully, realtor, and it goes to some page about search all blank area homes, and Thomas's face isn't there or his name, they're like, what is this? I don't know what happened, right? So I'm trying to be as clear, direct as possible. Okay, let's see here. So my cost per click, my overall cost per click is about $4. Again, I don't really care. All I really care about this is when someone Googles my name, like I'm controlling the narrative to some degree. And I'm certain I have other realtors that are Googling and doing that as well. And that's fine, because when they go here, maybe they Googled me because they want to refer somebody to Central PA who wants to buy or sell real estate, which, if you have somebody, send them my way. We're always happy to help your referrals. So that's really, all of this is interesting, whatever, but in the grand scheme of things, the point of this is to control the narrative when someone goes and searches your name. And James, why don't we share yours, and then I'll build one out to connect the dots.
I have a little hang up on mine. For some reason, this is missing Google tag. Website's missing a Google tag, but we can show how the ad's set up and where it's going.
Okay. So you're not getting any, are you getting any clicks?
No, I hadn't checked since we set it up. I'm like, oh shoot, now we got this little detected issues. So is it worth still going in there?
Yeah, sure. Because we should be able to at least look at the way we set up your keywords. So, for example, for me, I have a keyword that is literally just my name, but my name is very unique. James Brown is not. So we didn't set one up for James that was just James Brown. All of his had some extension to that. James Brown Realtor, James Brown Real Estate, James Brown Realty, James Brown EXP Realty, James Brown Real Estate Agent, James Brown Listing Agent, James Brown Buyer's Agent, James Brown Rent to Own. So maybe let's at least show those, and then I'll build one out. And as James is doing that, I didn't realize you would have to have a Google tag that it would block you from running that without a Google tag. So let me address that, because that also is relevant to part 2 of this, which is the Google display ads. To build a retargeting audience that you can show display ads to, or apparently even to create something like this, you need to have what's called the Google tag installed on your website. A Google tag is it's the same as the Meta Pixel. It's a script that you put on your website. That's all it is, right? It sounds like whatever, like this. I don't know. It sounds odd, right? It's a weird name, but that's all it's just like the script you can install to capture more leads with iList. It's just a bit of code that you put at a specific spot on your website, which also means that we probably can't use your Instagram or Facebook page to send people to, but whatever. We're learning as we go here. Okay, so can you click out of the quick help box top right there? That'll just make it so that it's wider.
Let's see. Get rid of there.
And then if we go to, scroll down a little more. Okay, scroll back up. Sorry.
In the way. Okay.
Yeah, so campaign has no keywords. How can that be? We definitely put the keywords in it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay, let's do it again. Maybe that'll be helpful. So hit view details. Yeah, it definitely says no keywords. I don't know why.
We had all sorts of them in there.
Okay, so listen, this is a working session, and there's no hiding anything. We're not trying to be anything that we're not here. So let's add keywords, and then I can't remember, where are we sending them?
Oh, so this page, it's my product.
Okay, so then we'll add the Google tag to that page as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to search keywords.
Copy what you've done.
Yep.
Okay.
We're going to use, I'm going to probably screw this up. We're not going to use broad match. We're going to use phrase match or exact match. Phrase match, not exact match. Exact match is somebody types in exactly James Brown Realtor. We're going to use phrase match. That'll be James Brown Realtor, and they might put something else. James Brown Realtor, Colorado. James Brown Realtor, some city in Colorado, Denver, or some other city, whatever. But it has to contain that phrase, or it's not going to show. So phrase match is what we want. And then if they add things to the end, that's fine and not a big deal. Why is it saying upload keywords? We're not going to upload. What happens if you
add group to? What is that?
I guess click on the green button thing. Yeah. Click on that. Okay, perfect. Here we go. So we're going to put quote in quotation marks. We're going to put all of the relevant phrases that we want to show up if someone Googles James Brown. So we're going to go James Brown Realtor, James Brown Realty, James Brown Real Estate, James Brown Real Estate Agent, James Brown EXP Realty, James Brown Rent to Own. What else did we do? James Brown.
Commas between and quotes, or what do we do?
Just a line break.
Okay, just
hit enter.
Space.
Yeah, just hit enter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
James, while you're doing that, I'm going to let you steer the show. I'm going to mute myself because I need to call a motivated seller that called me during the session, because it'd be pretty cool if I get an appointment while I'm on here and I can tell you all where that came from. It'll be a side note and a squirrel, but nonetheless, I'm going to call this person back.
If anybody has some suggestions that I'm doing this, just unmute and tell me what I should do here. I can start doing cities around me. Okay, I'm running out of ideas. Anybody?
You can just do James Brown just with Denver. Instead of Denver Realtors, you can do Colorado.
Yeah. Thank you.
Realty, EXP, rent to own,
Types of properties.
Relator, because people spell wrong. RELATOR. James Brown Real Estate, one word, meaning real estate doesn't have a space in it.
Oh, yeah.
So he didn't answer. I triple dial when I call leads like this now 3 times, because some cell phone carriers are like blocking once and even sometimes twice. And sometimes the third time it actually rings and you get them. I triple dialed and then I'm personally sending a text from my phone to his phone and it's a blue text. So that's good too. Anyway, back to the topic.
James, what about types of properties?
Yeah, could do that.
Cities and neighborhoods, subdivisions.
Well, everything around me is high priced, which is nice. Let's see.
What about the word luxury?
Just, yeah, I'll do that just by itself.
And what about short-term rentals that are for sale?
Sure. Probably put as many as in here as we want.
So
Yeah,
wonder if
I don't think you could have too many, and you can always add more after the fact. But what you want to do for sure, and I know this personally because I screwed it up when I first set it up. I had it as broad mat, and when I checked in after a few days, I was getting people clicking who had done searches that had nothing to do with my name. It was like, I was getting like weird things. So I did two things at that point from that. I made them all phrase match like James is doing. And you can add certain keywords as negative keywords, meaning you're telling Google, I don't want to show up if someone types in this. I'm just going to give a for example for James. I don't know if it'll maybe make the point, even if it's somewhat irrelevant. But like James Brown musician, James doesn't want to show up for that. That's obviously not something he wants to spend a click on or the effort on. Okay, I think for now, this is pretty good. Nisi, what were you saying?
Singer, James Brown singer. He doesn't want to show up for that either.
Exactly. So since this is phrase match, do they have to type in all those words or can it just be part? It has to include those words, but it could include more. So for example, it could be if someone typed in James Brown luxury homes, he would show up. And I just picked one. James has James Brown luxury homes, James Brown luxury neighborhoods, whatever. It has to have that phrase, and it could be a whole sentence. It could be, I hate Josh Shanley, realtor in Central PA, and I'll show up. I may not want to show up for that one, and I hope somebody isn't typing that in, but it could be, okay? But in that case, if I see that I'm showing up for that, I might add negative keywords. If someone is including in their search with my phrases the word hate, I don't want to show up for that. I don't want to pay for that. Some other ones that I used, and I can bring mine back up, but I used reviews. Now, for James, to just say James Brown reviews, he might be getting people that are looking for James Brown the musician reviews. But I know for me, like, and for Nisi, if somebody's Googling Nisi Draper reviews, they're probably looking for reviews from you as a realtor. So you just have to, many of you on here have unique enough names that you don't have to think as much about the keyword strategy as James is. But I just want to point out all the possible things that might trip you up in the implementation, thinking wise or execution wise. This is probably a good enough list, James, for us to save it for now. You can always add more. And what I want to try to do next is the next issue that we had, which is that Google tag. So we can show everybody where you get it and where you have to put it. And then if nothing else, if you have somebody that manages your websites or whatever, you can tell them, I need this thing installed on these pages or these websites.
Like I got a bunch of.
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay. Now what?
Yep. It'll say not eligible. I've gotten traffic on tons of words that it says not eligible because that is just the algorithm looking and seeing how many people searched James Brown Denver realtor in the last 60 or 180 days or whatever. And it's probably not many, but it doesn't matter because if they search it, it'll still serve it up.
Gotcha.
Yep. Okay. Now, trying to get back to that other error message. That should be fun. Let's go back. Okay, yeah, try notifications. Maybe it's there. Set up conversion tracking. Hit view, all right? On the left-hand side, go to tools, because I want to show people in a way that hopefully everyone can find it. On the left-hand side, we're going to go to tools, and then we're going to go to, I think it's data manager. Data manager, maybe not.
Oh, maybe I just had to get rid of that.
Oh, Google tag, James Brown Real Estate, hit manage.
Boom.
Now, so what this tells me is James or someone set up the tag, but it's not installed. You may have to set up the tag if it's not there, and then you can just call it whatever you want. Josh Shanley Real Estate or Josh Shanley Google tag. It doesn't matter what you call it. Just call it whatever you want. Installation instructions, maybe. Let's tap that. Install manually up at the top right.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful. That's what we need. Copy that.
Boom. Okay.
Leave this open. Leave this open. And now go to, you are using the ProEdge CRM website, right? Is that where you're sending folks to?
Yep.
So we'll show people how to install it there, and we'll show people how and where to install it on Bold Trail. Those are like the two that at least we can show. And then if you're using something else, which many of you are, you just have to find where to paste it in the custom header field. And if you don't know, just ask your website admin or whatever. No, we still see the other one.
Let me switch.
James is one of those fancy pants people that has multiple screens and his multiple things open. And for me, it just makes me more confused than I tried. I even have it. I have a second screen sitting on the ground back next to my foot that if my wife knew that I bought that and don't use it, she'd be screaming at me, whatever.
So you can see it now?
Yep.
Go to site.
Yeah, sites and websites and James websites.
Are we going to that page?
No. We're going to click there.
Okay.
And then we're going to go to settings.
That's right. Settings there.
And then we're going to paste that in the head tracking code.
Yeah.
Ooh. So that's interesting. You have a Google tag in the body tracking. Regardless, paste that in the head tracking code.
Here it is.
Is it a different Google tag maybe?
Oh, I know. I thought I remembered we went in here and did this. So now I'm wondering what's...
Okay. Paste it in again. Whether you want to paste over top of it or you want to paste it in addition, I don't think it'll matter.
Yeah.
And then we're going to scroll down, or you can verify if it's the same or not.
Is it the same? I think this was the original Google Tag Manager and Google. And this is Google Tag. It looks different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's scroll down.
Okay.
Not in that window. Yep, there, and then hit save.
Okay.
And then whatever that website URL is, let's go back to the Google ad and you can test it to make sure that it's installed properly.
Okay.
I hope this is helpful, folks. I know this is like very technical.
Yep. That's why we can word this.
And if you have someone that helps you implementation wise, if you just tell them, this is what I want to do, maybe they can do it for you. But I'm telling you, if you do this, if you don't do this, there's a chance you will have lost business in the next 12 months. And if you do it, there's no chance, I guess I can't say absolutes, but if you do this, it's very unlikely that in the next 12 months, you'll have less business than if you didn't do it. I'm trying to paint the negative picture here. This is way more likely to get you more opportunities in the next 12 months than not. So it's worth figuring out. All right. So pop in where it says test your website. Let's pop in it could be the root URL. It could be the page you're actually sending them to. It shouldn't matter as long as the domain is in it.
This is the page. I get all zoom stuff out of the way. Let's just
I'm going to preemptively say this. I'm going to save the Google display retargeting for another week and not next week. Honestly, it'll be in a couple of weeks for two reasons. Number one, I have some great special guests lined up. Number two, it is irrelevant to you if you haven't built up an audience. And so I don't want to overwhelm more than we already have. And I want to give you all an opportunity to implement this, to install your Google tag so that when we do the Google display retargeting session in a couple of weeks, you'll have people that you can put your Google display retargeting ads in front of, if you don't already. Also, very transparently, I meant to play around with it this morning and I ran out of time and I haven't done it in a while and I'm worried that I won't be able to do it. So it also gives me time to make sure that we don't waste a half an hour on nonsensical things. It looks like it worked. So let's scroll down. And by the way, so James pasted in the URL, he hit test, he got the check mark, so it should be good. So actually, there might not even be anything else. I don't think you need to scroll down, save or anything. I think you're good there.
Wait,
so let's go back to the campaign and see if there are any more like error messages or notifications that are popping up we should address.
Hold on, I swiped with my mouse. I don't know if it stuck.
I don't think there was anything that you had to.
It was just.
I don't think you have to save. I don't think you have to save as long as it's tested and it's good.
Okay, so just X out of this.
Yep. And then let's go back to campaigns on the right-hand side or left-hand side. Yep. And then,
Select my campaign.
Yep.
Boom.
Hey, Josh.
Yep.
It's Celeste. And I was just thinking, just driving, only listening to you. And then I'm thinking, what would be pro or con about adding the listing addresses of our current listings
no,
as a keyword?
it's fine if you want to. But that means you're taking something. Part of the idea of this is something that you can set up once, check in every once in a while. If you want to commit to doing that, fine. But knowing what I know about people, I'm trying to make it such that people will actually do the thing. So I'm not suggesting it's a bad idea. What I'm suggesting is it might be unnecessary and irrelevant.
Okay.
And because here's the thing, if they Google that address, then really you should have that ad specifically should send them to a link with that address. Because if they Google that address and it goes to, why Celeste is so great, people might get annoyed and be like, I really wanted information about this address. So I guess what I'm saying is if you're going to do that, should be its own standalone campaign. And I'm not suggesting you should do that or shouldn't do it, but I wouldn't put it in this branded Google PPC campaign. I think this should just be one goal in mind. Someone Googles Celeste Bar and anything real estate, they can connect with Celeste. And they may do that because they saw a listing and then they call you and say, hey, I think you have a listing in this neighborhood. Can you help me? Or whatever. Why does it still say that it's missing a Google tag?
I don't know. Like I said, I swiped left accidentally with my mouse.
Hit view details.
Fix it.
I guess. It's
Easy enough to grab that tag.
I know, but it's definitely there. It's the thing. Like
the tag wouldn't have changed either, right? This is like a regenerated new one or anything. I don't know what this is.
text connection. Just hit the blue button. Marius, will LSA retargeting work for people that look at a Google Map business profile? I have no idea. You're throwing in a lot of things in the same thing. So local services ads is not retargeting. That's a different thing altogether. And I loved those when they first came out. I cannot get any currently, even though I play with it all the time. I mess around with it. I can't get anything, but I don't know that you can retarget based upon that, but I'll maybe do a little bit of digging. Hit fix it again. Copy that code. Oh, wait, no, it's gone, right? Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Close that out.
Okay.
Close that out. And then what else we got? We got impressions. That just means it needs to run. The ad strength is poor. Who cares? That is if you were, building the traditional Google PPC campaign where you wanted so that when someone Googles condos for sale in Metro Denver, Colorado, the ad says, want to look at all condos for sale in Metro Denver, Colorado. It's irrelevant for the type of ad that we're running. So some of these detected issues are relevant. Some of them are irrelevant for this type of campaign. Okay. So like that one, I'm not worried about. I think it should now run. I think, but
this is a few bucks a day, I see. So
yeah, I think you did that. I said mine was at 2 and you just put the same thing that I had.
I just do it.
It may or may not matter because it's only going to spend if people are actually Googling. And I'm not saying they are or they aren't, but you could leave it at $2 for a week. And then if you're like, wow, it's spending all $2 every day, then you might bump it up. Or if it's $2 total over the week, you could probably say, all right, I can probably back it down to $1.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take back the screen and I'm going to do my best to show you from scratch what it looks like to create a campaign and go through the steps and what buttons to click or not click with it. Once I get through that, we'll go through Q&A for that. And then I do want to dig into David's text exchange with me because unrelated to this topic, there's some good nuggets in there that I think would be helpful for any of you who are interested in taking more listings, right? Like getting more motivated sellers to list their property with you. Okay. This is assuming you have installed your Google tag and assuming you know what page, what web page, what URL you're going to send people to. If you've got those things set, you're going to go to create campaign. We're going to create a campaign without guidance. We're going to choose search, and this doesn't really matter. You're probably not going to have goals. I think this is why it was showing some conversions. Don't worry about this. Don't let this stop you or whatever. Like literally don't worry about this. If it shows nothing, you should still be able to hit continue and be good to go. You want website visits. Website visits. It might seem like you want phone calls. I'm telling you, you don't. Okay? You want to send them to a page where they can do any number of things to connect with you. They can choose their own. So knowing the page that you want to send them to, check website visits and put the URL in there. Campaign name. I'm going to call this Josh Shanley branded PPC ad and today's date so that I know. I'll get to the end. I probably won't submit this. We'll go there. What do you want to focus on? Not conversions. We want clicks. We want clicks, okay? Because you may not have conversion tracking set. Just get the clicks. Okay, next. Now, do not leave these, okay? Deselect these two networks. We just want it to be a Google search. We just want people that are going to Google directly and searching, okay? This is a way they try and trick you to spend more money. Don't fall for it. I'm going to select the United States. If it were common for me to get referrals from Canada, Canadian agents, I might choose United States and Canada. I might, but it's not. So for me, I'm just going to choose United States. Languages, English. If you speak other languages, you should absolutely include those. I don't. As much as my daughter who's taking Spanish 2 is trying to impart that on me, my Spanish is very limited. And I took German in high school, which I could say like a sentence. EU political ads. I don't know why this is a thing, but it is. Just hit no. For those of you that want to skip ahead, audience segments is where you can go and find your audiences to retarget. If you have already installed your tag, you can go to browse and there's a couple of different. There's website visitors, YouTube users, okay? But that's not what this is about. So you don't need to do anything with more settings. I just want to make sure that there aren't more settings. We want it to start with no end date. Ad schedule all day is fine. None of this matters. We're going to hit next. Oh boy. This is...
Hey, Josh, Kathy's got a question in there. I was going to answer it, but I think you'd be better off.
What do we got?
So be sure to set up a type of landing page first, then do the Google ads.
So you definitely want, until you know where you're sending them, you can't set it up. So yes, you have to decide that in the decision tree, you need to figure out where you're sending them. From what I can tell, it must be a page, which I didn't know this until this session. It must be a page that you can install the Google tag on. Otherwise, I don't.
Site, right? Like I put it on the general settings for my site, but we're not. If somebody clicks on an ad, are they going to, do we set that up to go to my page just like that?
Yes. Yeah. It's sending them to a specific page. The ad itself is sending them to that specific page for sure.
Oh, we had set that up.
Yep. Yep.
Hopefully it's stuck. I'll have to go check.
No, I did. I even saw it in there somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yes, you need to decide that first. You need to know where you're sending them and you need to install the Google tag on where you're going to send them first. It could be a page that you build on Bold Trail. It could be a page that you build on whatever website solution you're using. James and I are using a page on the Pro Edge CRM, which is a go high level white label version that includes a website, and we built page there. There's lots of right answers for that. You just need to have clarity on what you want that to be for you. AI Max for search campaigns. I'm just hitting next. There's nothing to me that's very relevant. Google AI isn't able to, okay. I'm going to hit manually create ad group. And this is where I put keywords like James was doing. So I'm just going to put 3 to start. I'm going to put my name. For my name, I also put common misspellings of my name. And there's probably a couple more I should add because no matter what, some people refer to me as Joshua, even though my license and my birth certificate says Josh. I'm not an UA. Not that it matters. But if you know that there are common misspellings of your name that people might think it would be, you could put that in there. Is that going to get a lot of traffic? Probably not, but it also doesn't hurt anything to have it there either. In my Axe campaign, I have a lot more, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to put those 3 for now. You're going to want more. You can always add more to them later if you realize, oh, I should have put this or I should have put that or whatever. But just keep in mind, this is a branded ad for your brand. And if you have your own independent brokerage or something like that, you should absolutely have that naming too. I'm not going to go through the ad here. I'll go back and show what my ads look like, but I'm not going to do this here because it's just painful. And this already took way longer than expected, which always does. So I'm not going to actually build the ad here, but maybe it'll let me go through. Okay, it's letting me go through. Next, this is where I can set a custom budget. And as long as it's at least $1, it'll go. Okay. So you can set $1. By the way, this was one item of 5 that I shared several weeks ago in the session we did with 5 surefire ways, fast and free. I don't remember, not free. 5 surefire. Oh, set it and forget it. Set it and forget it. Surefire ways to sell more homes in the next 90 days. This was one of them. If you missed that session or you want a refresher, go back and check that out. And that's actually, James was going back through his notes of that session, which is why he reached out to me to help him set up the Google pay-per-click ad. He had done he had checked one off, which was the direct mail AI newsletter. He's showing it there, the AI direct mail newsletter. And he was working through the rest of the items on the list, which is why we were working through this. Go check that out. I'm telling you, if you do those things, you will have more opportunities to sell homes in the next 90, 180, 365 days than if you don't. Promise. Yeah, just no doubt. Hit publish campaign and you're live and good to go. I'm going to X out of this. I'm going to save for later. I'm going to show you what some of my ads look like, what the verbiage is in there. And then we're going to pivot after Q&A. If there are Q&A, then I want to pivot to David, my text conversation with David in Houston. Where can I find the ads? Since I'm here, this is where you can add negative keywords. So if I look at my negative keywords, I added, so for some reason I was getting, before I did phrase match, I was getting people, I don't know who Bell Casa Realty is. For some reason, I was showing up when people were Google searching that. So I added that as a negative keyword. And then I realized, oh, you dummy, you have broad match keywords and not phrase match. So I fixed it. And then I didn't have to add any other negative keywords. Where are the actual dang ads? Hold on. Here we go, I think. Okay. So preview ads. I think I used AI to help with a lot of this, quite honestly. But you can see there's a little logo, which is just the EXP. A little thumbnail. It's got Josh Shanley, eXp Realty, the URL, and then a variety of different combinations of phrases and so forth. There you have it. Questions on that before we pivot to the conversation with David and I this morning? Right. Either everyone is completely confused or they're planning what page they're going to send people to so that they can build out their branded Google pay-per-click ad.